Okay, quick vertical scan of the answer choices. Notice they're very long answers that begin with nouns. Silica glass, significant disadvantage, the atomic arrangement of silica glass. Okay, so this is going to be, looks like a modifier issue compared to that of aluminum glass. That's a past participle dependent clause up front, separated by a comma and are missing what will be the noun. We want to know which noun here modifies the dependent or is modified by the dependent clause before it. Okay, let's check. Compared to that of alumina glass, blank, silica glass atoms are so far apart that they are unable to reform bonds after being separated. So what is compared to that of aluminum glass? Something of aluminum glass. Won't be aluminum glass. So I wouldn't compare that, some feature of aluminum glass, to actually silica glass. A and B will be wrong. A disadvantage of silica glass, that might be, because that's an attribute of silica glass, and we want that of some attribute of aluminum glass. So compared to that attribute of aluminum glass, a significant disadvantage of silica glass is that its atomic arrangement is more dispersed. And then colon, silica atoms are so far apart, explaining how they're more dispersed. This well could be the answer. Let's just check D. Compared to that of aluminum glass, the attributes of aluminum glass, silica glass's atomic arrangement is more dispersed. I think this might even be better, actually. So compared to the atomic arrangement of aluminum glass, the atomic arrangement of silica glass is more dispersed. That makes more sense, because a disadvantage is that it's more dispersed. No, this is more concise. This is better. Resulting in a significant disadvantage. The fact that it's a disadvantage is just kind of extra information. So it's set off here at the end parenthetically. And then we have our colon, which would then say, silica glass atoms are so far apart that they're unable. This is explaining why it's a disadvantage. D is the better answer. It's not C. So glad we went on read D. The attribute of aluminum glass we're comparing is the atomic arrangement. D is the best answer. Okay, quick vertical scan. Again, we see essentially these very long answers, which the mitigation, the bio whales apostrophe, and both street flooding and a verb, basically. What we can tell from these two, these are very typical. It's not there are, but these are very typical of modifier issues. Okay? So how do I identify this? Very long answers begin with three verbs, three nouns, one's a verb, and oftentimes one is there are, or it has the other one's an apostrophe to show possession, which is not right. And secondly, we can also determine it by the fact that it's a dependent clause up front, and we see that by reducing. This is a dependent clause. By reducing the runoff into city sewers, comma, and we need a noun. What is that missing noun that is being modified by the dependent clause ahead of it? So what, by reducing the runoff flowing into city sewers, what is it? Is it the mitigation, by reducing the runoff flowing into city sewers, the mitigation of both street flooding? No. Has been achieved. Possible. Let's keep going. I want to read another one. By reducing the runoff flowing into city sewers, the bioswales. So what are the bioswales? In 2016, engineer Vanessa Galvez oversaw the installation of 164 bioswales. These are vegetated channels designed to absorb and divert stormwater along the streets of Queens, New York. Okay? So by reducing the runoff flowing into the city sewers, bioswales have mitigated both street flooding and pollution. Yes, that's the bioswales are what are reducing the runoff and flow of the city water. This looks good. Let's just check C and D. The bioswales mitigation, no, it's not the mitigation that by reducing the runoff into city sewers, the mitigation is not the correct noun. So again, that's just like A, it's going to be wrong. And then D was not even the noun. That was the verb. Both street flooding and resulting pollution. That cannot be our answer because we need a noun that's modified by the previous clause. Okay? So dependent clause, comma, the bioswales have mitigated both street flooding. This is the right noun. The bioswale is being modified by the dependent clause before it. B is the correct answer.